Hey, what's up, Vic? Well, I hope everything's in here. There's that nut. Tie rod's going on tonight. What time is it your way? It's like 1:30 in the morning here. I am working on vans in the middle of the night. Hoping that all my equipment's here and all my bolts are here. I believe I'm missing a castle nut. I gotta look. Hello. Hello. Oh, I sure hope that one of these old ones work, because if not, I'm in trouble. Sorry about my camera. I had to switch to the old phone. So gather up my stuff. We'll get to work. Kind of explain what the situation is here. Know what I mean? Know what I mean? Gotta have this thing back together, ready to go down the road in the morning. So these guys can kind of keep moving. And then in the afternoon, we're going to take it down and get the alignment done. So all that fun stuff. Let's see if I can set something up here. My issue is I don't have a good camera holder. Got a little handheld one right here. My good one's got the good phone on it. Inner and outer tie rods, they are shot. Let's see if I can clean this screen up. Hold on. Is that a little bit better? Anyway, inner and outer tie rods are shot, so that's what we're doing. And like I said, guys, who says size doesn't matter? Obviously, I've never driven a van like that with tie rods that are, well, you just don't know when they're going to come apart. These are wallering all over the road, just, all kinds of fun stuff. Shaking. Oh, yeah. Size matters on this one. Well, we know what we're getting at, huh? Anyway. Alright, hold on. Started doing electrical stuff. Kind of need to get the other camera set up, because I really want to do kind of a proper video on this. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to multitask, and I'm not good at multitasking. Here we go. God, I'm so glad I got rid of this phone and I'm not recording it with no more recording with it no more. So glad. What kind of video do I want to do? Should we go cinematic? I think we shall. Okay, here we go. We got it going. Now let's see if I can set you guys up. Brand new chrome parts on the ground. That's always a good thing. I'm going to try to pay attention as much as I can to the screen. But I'm a real guy doing real work, not just looking at a screen, so excuse me if I don't. Start off by giving the wheel a little bit of a turn. Now I gotta find my Ohio Loctite getter router. You know what I mean? Like good old PB blaster. Heat up, little buddy. There you go. Let's get you back there too, huh? I mean, I don't want to be laying and stuff, so. Here's where I made the mistake the first time I did this. I used non-greasable tie rods. Don't ever do that. You can't maintain them, can't maintenance them. These ones are greasable. The inners, not greasable. And I should have got the greasable ones to begin with. So, yeah, make sure you get the good stuff. All right. Now, let's see if we can get this off. What do we got here? 7/8. It's probably, yep, it's right size. There we go. Now here's a handy little secret. Some of these, if you cannot get the tie rod off or use an impact because it's spinning, or even if you're taking your wrench and it's spinning, if you take a jack and jack up on the bottom of the tie rod, you'll push it up hard enough where it'll re-grab and you can take it right off. Don't have to use a torch all the time. Vic, take it easy, man. Thanks for stopping by. So I'm running alive at the same time. Gotta find my big hammer. I like to call this hammer Susie because as soon as I hit this, it comes off. Don't like using tie rod separators. Starting to drop. See? Comes right off. Couple of good smacks, couple of good bangs. Now, this is your inner tie rod on this particular band. That's the bolt that holds it on. It's not like your normal tie rod. So it'll go in to the drag link like this. Bolt goes through the back. Unspin the bolt. You're up. You're good. Thing is, sometimes you cannot get up in there, so you got to use a wrench. Sometimes you have space constraints. So I'm not going to tie that on right now because I am going to use it to figure out my overall measurement. That is the nut I'm talking about. So, let's see if we can set a light up here. We're not in the dark. Come on. That work? Get on there. It's too dirty. How's that? You gonna stay there? Okay. Well, guys, that's about as good as I can get it. We got the 24 millimeter. Yes, we do. See, I'm gonna have to get up there and I'm gonna have to turn this back again. Maybe. Not. We're fighting. Alright. Let's turn the wheel. Hey, you gotta crawl around. You know what? Let's do this. Let's take this bolt here. I'll be right back. Let's take this bolt here. And we'll over here and try to find a adapter for it. Way too loose. Ooh, just right. Okay, so 15/16 we'll get this off. That's what we're going to use. Right there. I can sit here, I can stand around and struggle with it, but I'm not going to do that. We are going to back up the back. Turn the wheel. Hold on. Get the wheel nice and turn. You're all the way back over. Where we have more room. Okay. Oh man. Jay asked me what I'm doing up so late. My question is, what are you doing up so late, Jay? we are back into the van. Make sure we're in backwards mode. Hold that with our leg. Great. We're spinning back here. We got problems. Now I gotta go find a bigger wrench. Let's go hunt a wrench down. Shall we? Let's go find one. Well, you know, Vic, I appreciate hanging in the background. It helps. And that's nice. See? Australians are nice guys. I need to use my channel locks. Or do I got a wrench that's big enough for it? My channel locks will work. Now, let's see if I got a wrench that's big enough to get this done. Let's see if I got a wrench big enough to get this done. Hold on one second. Here, you can just kind of sit there lopsided. Not in that door. Oh, maybe in that door. No, I don't. So we're using channel locks. That's what we're going to use. So, give me one memento. I'll kind of get you guys going here. Let me sit you guys back down here. So, the problem I'm having is she's just spinning all over the place. You know, making yourself dizzy. So, channel locks on the back. You can see there is a handy dandy little lug side there. So let's get it done. Okay, here's our problem. We're spinning. That's all we're doing. So I'm going to put a channel lock right there. And I'm going to hit her again. There we go. That's holding it. Make sure she's on the go off mode. Here we go. And she's off. Now we're going to crawl out and we're going to measure this up. I don't like to count turns, but that's what we're going to. I'm not going to count turns. I'm going to show you how I do it. People do it other ways. This is how I do it. Oh. Alright, we're gonna sit here and do let me show you how I align tie rod ends. But I gotta first make sure I got everything I want. And I got everything I want. Let's put you guys up a little bit higher so it's a little bit easier to see. What's going on? There we go. Put you over here. I gotta watch a few things. Oh, there's my other phone. Alright, here we go. Now, a lot of people, when they do their tie rods and they measure them, hold on, get this way, okay? So you can actually see me. Alright, so a lot of people when they do their tie rods and measure them, they like to count threads. I don't like that idea, and I don't like that idea because different manufacturers, and being a machinist in my life in the past, different manufacturers have different tolerances, different specs, and everything else. I will take the original one, get her all nice and straight. I'll take the tape, put it on the floor, right about on the center of the stud, okay? Another piece of tape, because I know this tie rod was perfect. The alignment was perfect before they hit the pothole and it went bad. Alright? I'll set the overall length, kind of like that. Just kind of take a straight downward look. And this one, same thing. On the very back end of the bolt, there. And we'll go the mating surfaces. This is where it sits up against the idler arm, or the drag link. I'll put one there. Alright. Take my two tie rod from my jam nut all the way down. Grab this end. Get her nice and threaded on there. Should be using a little bit of anti-seize on it, but I don't have no anti-seize. Here's what it is. I'm still going to take a tape measurement. I don't like I said, I don't like counting threads. I never get it close enough doing it that way. Doing it this way, I always get her pretty on. And then I'll check the measurement front and back of the tires with the tape measure, and I also eyeball it. And I'll explain to you how I eyeball it when it comes to what I'm looking at. Okay? So, we got our tape marks. It's on the center. I'm going to show you why certain measurements just don't work. Okay, the mating surface right here is up against down there. I'm pretty much on where I put that piece of tape at the end there, and the center of my stud is right on the center of that there. So that should tell me right there that that tie rod is just about set where it was when I took it off. Alright, so let's measure from that to the center of the bolt. We got about 16 and 3/8 of an inch or so. Measure this one. Got about 16 and 3/8 of an inch. This probably is gonna have to come out maybe just a little bit more. So, set that there. Now it's spot on with the other one. That jam nut. Take this off, we'll crawl back underneath the car, thread her back in, set her back on. Kind of a reverse procedure. That's how we're going to do it. Simple. The way it came out is the way it goes back on, guys. That one on there. Crawl back underneath. Don't think you need to really see how the bolt and everything went on, but you know, pretty self-explanatory. Put it on the go on mode. Little hole. Center on. Hard crawling around on the ground with one leg. back in. Wrestle that on there. Now I want to make sure that that looks the same as the other side. That wheel's slightly turned over there. Slightly turned over here. Looks okay. Now I am missing the castle nut off of this one. So I'm going to hope and pray that the old one is the same thread. They generally are, but that's not always the case. Where are my other ends? There's my 21. Is it 21 I mean? What size was on there? No. Really? Is that this one? Get her tight. There's a cotter pin hole down in there. I do not like to reuse cotter pins, but unfortunately, this tie rod does not have a cotter pin. You can see the cotter pin hole right there. See how it's lined up with the castle nut? We're going to shove an old cotter pin in there. And I'm going to tell my buddy at the alignment shop to please put a new cotter pin in there. Because I really don't like reusing them. And make sure you guys put these things in there. Make sure you got your grease fittings in there, all that stuff. This one's got the grease fitting in. I should have checked before I put it on. Tap in. Come on, get in. Take it down. We're good on that side. Rinse and repeat for the other side, guys. Rinse and repeat. That's how we do it. Now, I am going to sit here and I'm going to explain to you kind of going backwards. Well, let's talk about how to tell if these things are bad. Okay? We're going to do that right now. That's what we're going to do. Let's Let's roll this tire on here real quick. I'm going to put two lug nuts on here just to demonstrate. For those of you that don't know, I'm going to show you how a shop will tell you if your tie rod is bad. Always good to go into a place, even if you're having work done, to go in kind of knowing what's going on. Less chance to be taken advantage of in that situation. Alright, so what I'll do, you take the tire, you don't want to go so hard that you're physically turning the steering, okay? Take the tire, grab it on the ends, just give her a wiggle. Now you see this one moving. Alright, that's generally an indication that you got something going on. It's a good, solid indication. To check the ball joints, which I'm not going to do right now because I just replaced them, so I can't even show you. But on these heavier duty vans, and even your car, you really should take a pry bar, you shove it in between. You can lift up on the tire, and you check the backside for your movement. Now I'm going to show you what movement we're looking for here in a second. You guys on the camera on the live feed will just have to go to the video to watch the video. Right? Alright. I'm going to pay attention to this area right here. Okay? Now, when I take the tire and I move the tire, we don't really see there's some movement, but it's not the outer is bad. But since I'm changing it, I'm going to change the outer. I'm going to show you where the inner is bad. Okay? That's the boot for the inner tie rod. If you look at it, it's going to be kind of hard, so you're going to have to really pay attention. If I hold my hand here and I touch back here, you can physically feel it moving in and out of the joint. Now I have a little other movement up there, and that's more than likely a pitman arm. It's going to need to be changed out here soon too, but we're good for tonight. So this tie rod here, if you put your hand right here in the joint and give the tire a little shove, you can feel it moving in and out. It's a clear indication that the inner is bad. Oh. What's up? No. I'm working. I've got two things going. I gotta go. I got a live going. I gotta go. Gotta love it. So, now we're back to where we started. Get the tire off. Put the lug nuts in your little bucket. Pull this heavy girl off. Roll her out of the way. Alright. Now let's get the spray juice. Soak down. Now I'd already pulled the safety pins out of it. Put that side down. I'll start doing this. Now, if I remember correctly from the other side, put that on there. This one is the same size. Off mode. Give it a little tap to get out of there. Come on. Come on, you don't want to do it now. There you go. It's out. Get my handy dandy little hammer. Give her a good old couple of hard whacks. Not hitting the top. Not hitting the top of the bolt. You hit the top of the bolt, you're going to mushroom it over. It's going to be hard to push all the way through. I'm hitting the side right here. There's also a pad right here that you can hit. Don't be afraid. She'll pop out. Shot. If you use the pickle forks, you actually end up tearing a lot of this up. You'll gouge. You run the risk of gouging the bottom of this surface, which can rip your boot in the long run. Don't use pickle forks. Not unless you absolutely have to and you can't get it apart. Then it's okay to use them. Hopefully, there's enough room on that side. We can get her off. Okay? Yeah, I'm going to kind of get down here and show you where I'm working from this side. Can't remember what side it is. lock nut on this one. Got plenty of room back here to work. But we know what's going to happen. We start hammering this thing off of here. And she's just going to spin. Just like the last time. So we'll have to do the same trick. Channel locks. Here, give her a good bite. And it's off. We're going to measure this one the same way we measured the last one. That's how we're going to do it. Where are we at? Lower you down? There we go. All right. All right, here we go. Same process here. Set our stuff down. Take, straighten our head out. Oh, let me go get my tape measure. Tape. Mark center of the bolt. All right. Another piece. Just take a kind of a sight measurement there, just to kind of reference. And this piece. We'll mark that flat space right there. All right. Overall length doesn't matter. This is where it mounts. That's where it bolts through. These are your two important measurements once again. Jam nut down. Tie rod in. That's pretty close right there. Really got to make sure that these are straight. Kind of where you had them. If they're straight, you're going to be close. Bump that up to the tape. You can see we're just a little off. Alright, so what's our measurement here? Right about 16 and 5/16 or 7/16. Okay. No, I'm wrong. That's 1, 2, 3. No, 5/16. That's right about on. Let's tighten this zip tie up on that boot. Turn that bad boy off. Put this lock nut down so we don't lose it. Like I said, this will get you close. And we'll do a fine measurement here and I'll explain to you what I do and how I look. What I look for. How's that? Oh, what's up? 2010 F-150, got into an accident. Nothing major, replaced all suspension, but not steering knuckle or wheel bearing. Still pulls, need help. Okay, well, let's see if we can figure this out. Let's chit chat, let's figure this out. Alright, 2010 F-150, got in an accident. Have you sent to the alignment shop? First question. Let's ask that one. What's up, Mike? Van life, yeah. Pain to work on when it comes to the engines. Chevys ain't too bad. They get a little more, you know. I'm a little interested in the F-150 though. Got in an accident, nothing major. Replace all suspension, but not steering knuckle. Wheel bearing still pulls. Question is, yeah, that's my first question. Did you get a alignment done? You know? Hey Jess, what's up? That's the wifey in there, guys. Well, until I hear back, I'm going to keep working so I'm not out here real late. Because it's, what, I don't know, 2:30, 3 o'clock in the morning? It's late. That's what it is, it's late. Well, let's get back over here. To the fun side. Multitasking, got multiple cameras going on at once. How's that? Alright. Slide that up back into there. Gun's under there, that's under there. Figure it out. I'll be careful. At least I won't have to fight the steering on the van like I fought it coming here. That'll be much better. Much gooder. Much gooder. Alright. There's the nut. Put it on the get on there mode. Put it on the nut. Try not to hold it like that. Grip on this. Center home. Alright. Gotta go find my lock nut, or my cotter pin here in a second. This back over. Look at that up in there. Dead nut started. We want to do it like that. I don't like to run them down with the Diagnosing. We'll spin around with a wrench. I have to see how tight it gets. Alright, let's see, here we go. Yeah, she did hit it. You see the scratches? I blame her, I don't blame anybody else. Easier to blame her. See, somebody's got it right. That was my fault. Well, actually, this one wasn't. Go get the cotter pin. Who we got on here? Oh. Let's see. Who do we got? Ripley, Daniel Bates. What's up? Okay. Let's see. Cotter pin, that's what I needed. Did I bring it over? Give me a sec, I gotta go find a cotter pin. Alright, I know there was a cotter pin here somewhere. We just gotta find it. What did I do with it? Somebody rerun the video and see where I set it at. Really don't want to drive it without a cotter pin. That's just not wise. I know I had one. I found it. I found it. Whoa. Let's try not to fall. Let's try not to do that. Alright. Let's get this set back up. I'm sure everybody's just thrilled with what I'm doing. Always put the cotter pin in. Always bend it up. Or at least bend one leg somewhere. Okay. Now, grease gun. The greasy job. Let's go take a walk in the dark till we find a grease gun. Let's go to the other garage. A little dark out here. A little too dark. Or is that quiet? I don't know. Ooh. Now I can't see, and I'm probably going to hit something. There's a tractor in here somewhere. Give me a minute. Where's that light switch? There it is. Science from light on the situation. I forgot I might need my phone that's got the internet service on it. If you know what I mean. Hard to run a hotspot when you ain't got a hotspot on your phone because you don't walk away from it. Ooh. All right, here we go. Let's find a grease gun. Old snap-on clock. license plate collection. Anybody got any out-of-state plates? We're still looking. We've been kind of concentrating on some of the older plates, you know. Vietnam, there's a Wisconsin plate from a semi-trailer plate. You got a couple hard to find ones in here. New Mexico, North Dakota, Ontario, BC, British Columbia, Guam. And I want to say there's a Puerto Rico plate here too. Maybe a Mexican plate. I'm not 100% positive on it. It's that one right there, but it's kind of hard to see. Alright. Do the grease guns have grease? Can't call it grease spot garage without grease gun with grease, right? We got grease. And we got a little bit in there. We'll take this grease gun back with us. How's that? Back into the dark. Look at that big old van. He's huge. Alright, grease gun down. Fall them back in a holder. Flipped around. Alright. Grease this stuff up. Now, I will say one thing. People, do not grease so much that the grease comes squirting out. Just grease it enough to fill the boot. That's all you really need to do. Push it down there. Give it a couple of good squeeze. Make sure you always grease it. You can press on the boot and you can feel where it's going in. You're going to take a couple of pumps here first because it's dry. And it's starting to bulge out a little bit. That's good. That's good. Get that inside one. You might as well grease the rest of the stuff while you're under here at it, right? That's greased. On these vans, there's grease fittings everywhere. There's one on top of the pitman arm. It's a real pain in the butt to get to. I'd show you, but you can't see it anyway. It's all done by feel. Right now, I'm struggling with it. But, you know, before I get the new parts greased, in case I run out of grease. Ah, come on. Yeah. You know, I'll be the first one to admit I make mistakes. And I made a mistake. I'll show you what I did. I goofed up. We're going to take this side back apart. So, I forgot to put the grease boot on this. That's not a good thing. Happens. So, let's fix it. We can't put it down the road without the grease boot on it. Right? Right. Off mode. Get my big hammer. Should have caught that. Drop a little bit. Now, like I said, this is a tie rod. It's just kind of hanging around the shop that I knew that I'd saved because it was new. But it was missing the grease boot initially. So we're going to steal the grease boot off that one because we did not destroy it when we took off the parts. So, pop a grease boot on it. This bad boy back together. Leg came off. Alright, let's turn this back straight. We'll get the tires popped on. We'll check our alignment. We'll lock the jam nuts now. Right, oh, there's my snack. Those full bikes. Love these things, guys. These are so good. I like to line up the studs when I pick the tire up. It ain't hot so much. There we go. up on everything. Wrong size. Oh. Tulu, what's up, buddy? So what you doing up so late? But I'm here. I'm the one that's up so late too. Torque them down here in a minute. This is when you this is when you contemplate how you're going to take over the world. What are we going to do tonight, Brain? What we do every night. Try to take over the world. Come on, I knew you watched that cartoon. How's the ride coming, man? You finally get all your heating and cooling issues sorted out? Seeing you had your boy out there working with you. That's good to see. Check alignments and stuff. You know what I mean? That's good. That's good. Did you figure that tag signal out yet? We were just talking to them guys yesterday. We have officially started the wiring on Pandora. And we got the approval and the zoning permits and the building permits for the new shop. So we're gonna get that built. So yeah, new shop coming, guys. We're gonna put a 30 by 40 up. So it'll be pretty nice when it's done. Move out of this one because this is where I've been doing everything, but this is my parents' shop. So we're gonna get out of here and we're gonna finally have one up at the house, which I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. It's truly gonna be cool. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna explain how I do alignments. How we get them close without using specialized equipment. And when I mean close, I mean I'm talking sometimes within a degree or two, you know what I mean? We get them real close. So we're going to talk about that here. I'm going to show you how we do it. Alright, 21. Alright, so first off, we'll make sure we got the steering wheel locked. If your steering wheel doesn't lock, use a tie-down strap and strap it to the gas pedal so it doesn't move. So this is how I do it. Yeah, I still use a tape measure, but I don't just use a tape measure. I can eyeball these things. And I'll show you, and I'll tell you how I do it on the eyeball. Alright? First thing, we'll measure the inside of the tire from side to side and see what we get. Because honestly, guys, it's kind of hard to get real accurate that way. Inside of the tread, 59 inches. What do we got back here? I'll check this, just in case. She's dead on anyway. But the way I measured them when I took them off, it really should be good. Alright, that's 60 inches. It tells me it's off a little bit. Alright, now, what I do, I'll crack my jam nut loose, take my wrench, let me show you how I do this, okay? I'll take my eye, close one eye, and I'll lay it just on the outside of the tire. As you're turning your tie rod, you'll see the tire, it'll move in and out. I will turn it out to where I can physically see the edge, and I'm eyeballing the front edge and the back edge of this tire, looking down to the back edge of the van. And when you see it, you know, you'll kind of be looking at it, you know, right on edge here. You'll actually see the edge of the back tire appear. When you see that appear, you know you're off. Pull it back in, and as soon as everything disappears and it's one straight sight down through, you're dead on, you're good. But, and you'll know what I'm talking about if you try to do it this way. You're not looking at the back edge disappear, you're looking at, you'll see it pass once, and then that's where you kind of play with it until you actually, you'll actually see that second line come in and just everything will fall right into place. That's the way I do it. I can tell this is way off. Come on. Like I said, I can get them. Alright. That one looks good. What you see is you see the back. So what you'll see is you'll see the back of the tire. It'll swing in and you'll lose the back of the front tire with the front tire. And then the back tires fall right in line with your sight line. And that's what you're looking for. So we'll slide over here. I'll check the one on this side real quick. And I really wish I could show you exactly what I'm looking at. But it's really kind of hard to show it. It's just something you gotta see. I gotta get a wrench. Give me a second, guys. 13mm wrench is what you need. Alright. Let's do it. Find a sight line. Definitely going the wrong way. That's way out. Now it's best to set them when you're on the ground. But all we're doing is we're trying to get her to the alignment shot. All we want to do. I don't want too far past. So now I'm going to roll it back up. That's pretty good right there. Now let's take a measurement and see what it looks like. Right about 60. All right. So each one is right about 60. So they're pretty close. They're close enough to get me to 10 miles or 15 miles or so down the road safely to the alignment shop. If there's too far off and you go to make a turn, she's going to want to roll over on the tires. It's going to want to do a whole lot of weird things. So it's best to get them close. Now they do sell plates that will bolt to the rotors that you can set a tape measure across, and it gives you a definitive line to measure across, which really, I think I'm going to go buy a set. This way is pretty quick, it's pretty easy. The other way, you might be able to dial it in a little bit more accurate, but you're not going to get as accurate as the alignment machines. The laser machines, that's going to get your degrees, your angles, and everything else set. And alignments around me, they're like $150, so they're really, as far as I'm concerned, they're like inexpensive. You know what I mean? So, anyway, so that's what we got going on. Now, on to other things going on in the shop. Like I was saying, we got Hold on. Like I was saying, we got the wiring started. So, starting to get a little bit of that going. Chuck's little pack out boxes for doing all the wiring. It's kind of a nice little setup he's got there. A little bit of the wiring around the front. Did start running some of the catch can wires, not the catch can, but power steering reservoir. Power steering hoses are starting to get run. I'm contemplating on running my hoses through a power steering cooler, but I'm not 100% sure. That's kind of why they're just not completely done. Might be kind of a nice little additive. I really like these braided line kits. Got them through Summit. And that's for the GM Type 2 pump with that's the remote reservoir that we're using. Yesterday we worked on setting the door latches to where they strike a little bit better, a little bit easier. We'll be posting a video on how you do that on these cars. It's a pretty simple process. Still got to pick my mistake, my goof up. The paint is just hit on the back. You can see the scratching in it. That's all on me. So that's something we're going to have to address, unfortunately. But, it is what it is. I mean, not much I can do about it. I messed it up, I got to fix it. That's how it is, The other thing we got to do is, hold on one sec. Need to work on this trim a little bit here. I'm not real happy with the way it's shaping out there. Rolls down, it is rolled out here, so I got to work on straightening that out. Might have to take it back off and repolish it. We did get the carpet in. So if the carpet's in, that means interior is not that far off. I know this week they're going to get the door panels assembled and get them shipped to me, so we'll have the door panels here real soon. As soon as I get the door panels, I can take all my extra material, I can take everything I have, I can take it over to my seat guy, and he can start building the seats. You guys are gonna flip over the interior. It's gonna be something else, man. She's gonna be real classy, you know what I mean? Color combination is probably not what a lot of people think it's gonna be. I'm going to try to bring some of the color of the car into it, but I found a good way to do things and add a little bit different color to the car too. So one thing I do not want is I do not want blue in my seats. I don't like blue in seats. That's just a personal taste. It's hard to put blue in a seat and make it look good unless everything in the car is a large majority of that color blue. And I think the blue on the paint is eye-searing enough. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be cool. Hopefully, by July, we're ripping up and down the road in this thing. getting some test mileage on it and everything else. Because the one thing I'm looking more forward to, yeah, this whole Vegas thing, this whole SEMA deal. What I can't wait for is one. I've never been to Vegas, uh, always, but we've never been to Vegas, so that's going to be fun in itself. But to take that car and run that car up and down the Vegas Strip, yeah, I can't wait to do that. You know, I'm taking a car to SEMA that actually runs and actually drives, and if I wanted to, I could probably drive it to the show, but kind of defeats the purpose of having the car pristine when it gets there because who knows what'll happen, what kind of rock chips, bugs, or whatever. Plus, man, it's November. It's a bad time of year to be driving these cars on the road, especially when you start getting back into Ohio. Start getting back into the snow. They start salting roads by then. By that time, we always got snow on the ground. They've already spread salt or beet juice or brine or whatever they're using. That beet juice and the brine is horrible. It's really eating these cars up bad up here. So, anywho's hows and ways. Appreciate you guys hanging out. It's got to be 3 o'clock in the morning. Got to be 3 o'clock in the morning. Hey, what's up, Nelson? Uh, I'm tired. I got an alignment shop appointment here in a couple hours. So, I think I probably need to get going. Alright, guys. Everybody, take it easy. Have a great morning, great evening, great night, depending on where you're at. Remember, get out in the garage, stay greasy. Shut off. There we go.